Well, back here in Sheffield, it's comeback time for David Haye after Carl Thompson withstood an early onslaught and then systematically dismantled a would-be champion piece by piece.
And Haye at this stage can't miss. Haye's got to be careful he doesn't punch himself out. Well, this is incredible for Carl Thompson, it really is. Carl has come in and it's all over. David Haye's career is in tatters.
Well, David Haye is probably the most articulate boxer you'll find anywhere, and he's been telling Mike Costello what he's learned from that very painful lesson at Wembley 12 weeks ago.
David, there are those out there who say that that was a bad fight to take for you at that time. 2 months on, what are your thoughts?
I don't think it was a bad fight to take. I thought it was the right fight to take because people wanted to see it. And they got their value for money, which is what the sport's about. More sort of disappointment in my performance because I know I could have done a lot better.
Do you think you savoured too much of your first big occasion before you'd done the job?
Not necessarily. I was happy to be there. I wanted to be there. I had a strategy and a game plan all laid out, which I've been working on for 12 weeks. I got in the ring, I could hear the crowd, and for some reason, I just sort of did the complete opposite to what I trained to do.
You said you had a game plan, and it didn't happen, so take us through it.
I trained to start off nice and slow and build the pace up so gradually and get fast as the fight goes on. And that's the complete opposite to what I did in the fight. Whatever Carl Thompson would have come to the ring with, if he would have come and tried to start explosive, I would have been prepared for that. If he would have come and tried to box me, I was prepared for that. I just wasn't prepared for the worst David Haye turning up.
But in your defence, you caught him cleanly and often early on, so you gave yourself some confidence to just carry on going forward. Yeah,
it takes a lot of discipline to hit someone, have someone hurt, and not just to go hell for leather and to realise that this guy's been in this position before and he can get through real hard storms because he's done it before. I've seen it before. That's why I'm a big Carl Thompson fan, because I've seen him get caned early doors and come back and beat people. So I should have had the discipline and the know-how to say, OK, you look like you're hurt, but you're not as hurt as you might appear, and carried on with my game plan. But that happens. If you get a 1,500-metre runner, he could be the best runner in the world, but if he runs the first 400 metres flat out as fast as he ever could run, how's he going to finish the rest of the race? It's just not going to happen. I think that's what happened with me.
Did it occur to you that many times in the past he's caught somebody in that position?
Yeah. No. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get him out of there real quick. That's just stupidity on my part.
It's like you took everything into the ring that night, apart from your brain.
Exactly. That's spot on. That is, I didn't do what I was supposed to have done, and I've got no one to blame but myself. It's quite nice that I can only blame myself. It'd not be nice to say, "Oh, it's his fault. It's his fault. He told me to do that." But it was all completely down to me, and I've got to live with that. You know?
So the rehabilitation of David Haye begins now here in Sheffield. Both boxers are in the ring at the moment. This is a contest that Haye simply cannot afford to lose.
Ladies and gentlemen, promoted by Dennis Hobson and Evans Waterman for Fight Academy and sponsored by Interpoker.com, the world's best online poker room, who are proud to present an international cruiserweight contest over 6 3-minute rounds. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks trimming white. As a professional from 29 contests, he has 15 wins, 13 losses and 1 draw. 7 of those wins coming inside the scheduled distance. He weighed in at 15 stone, 7.5 pounds from Estonia. Would you please give a nice warm welcome to HayeSemishkur. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing the black trunks, he has the outstanding record from 11 contests. He has 10 wins with just 1 loss. All 10 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He weighed in at 14 stone, 7.5 pounds, and enters the ring as the former undefeated English cruiserweight champion from Bermondsey, introducing David Haye.
Well, the familiar smile on the face of David Haye, but will he be smiling in a few minutes' time?
British Boxing Board of Control. Your timekeeper of the bout is Mr. Gary Grennan, and your referee in charge of the action is star referee Mr. Phil Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 6 3-minute rounds.
You've
had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you both. Touch gloves. Good luck to you both.
Philippe Fondue, a familiar visitor with a lot of his overseas boxers here to England, in this case the Hillsborough Leisure Centre. A defining contest in the career of David Haye, which certainly came off the rails a little bit last time out. So David Haye back in action for the first time since September of this year, when he really burnt himself out far too early against that wily old cat Carl Thompson, who stopped him in 5 rounds. And here's Haye looking for a way back. Plenty of time for him, just 24 years of age, and he's actually a stone lighter than the rather pudgy looking fella from Estonia, VayeSemishkur, who's 29 years of age. This is Semishkur's 4th time in England. He's lost all 3 times, and all 3 times he has been stopped, and he's been stopped in the first round by both Enzo Maccarinelli and by former British amateur heavyweight champion Danny Watts. Good solid right hand by David Haye. Will we see a different David Haye to the one that came out and tried to blow Carl Thompson away early doors?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Big right hand there, Jim, and I'll be surprised if this goes 4, all round.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You okay?
That's what David Haye does best. Phil Edwards has a good look at the man from Estonia and asks him, is he okay? And David Haye is threatening to do here in British soil what's happened to the Estonian a couple of times before. Back comes the heavyweight, which he really is, VayeSemishkur. But Haye caught him with a cracking right hand. There's a left from David Haye. Solid shot to the body. That's the one that hurts. That is the one that hurts. He won't get up from that. He won't get up from that. That's the one that hurts. That really has hurt him. You can get your head cleared when you take a body shot like that. The pain simply rolls all the way over you like a wave, and that's what's happened. And David Haye has made a pretty successful comeback. The opponent was limited, as we've seen from his previous appearances here, but that's a real confidence booster, first and foremost, for David Haye.
Well, yeah, it is a confidence booster. I don't think he's going to learn too much from fighting boxers like that, to be quite honest. But, you know, he needed a confidence booster, and he certainly got it with some great shots. That was a lovely screw shot, if you like, from David Haye there, and a right hand to follow. But the left hook to the body, that was high on the head there with the right hand on the temple. That was a good shot. But, you know, let's face it, this guy I don't think should have been in with David Haye, to be quite honest. But nevertheless, that was a superb left hook to the body, and he was on the floor like an eel.
Well, Haye really delivered that right underneath the elbow into the short rib. Ouch, you can feel that from here.
David, that really was just target practice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He did it's coming up to Christmas, and he was gift wrapped, to be honest. It was coming up to, it was about a week before the fight. There was no opponent. The opponents kept pulling out, so it came to the point where we had to get, it was either fight him or fight nobody. And obviously that wasn't, I've had more strenuous pedicures, to be honest, so it was just going through the motions and getting back in the ring, and obviously in front of a crowd. One thing I wanted to do is try and be a bit more patient. As you've seen in my earlier fights, I've come out like a bull in a china shop, swinging like a lunatic in the first round, particularly against this caliber of opponent. So I wanted to just, obviously I wanted to go a few rounds, so I didn't rush him. All the shots I threw, I was trying to pick him a bit more. But as I said, this guy was gift wrapped.
I guess that's what you learned, as you were telling us beforehand, from the Carl Thompson fight. Let's just have a look at the punch that finished it. You landed a big right hand over the top, and then came the body shot.
Okay, yeah. I could see his shots coming out quite quick, and I could see he was carrying a bit of excess around the body. So I wanted to go downstairs and see if it was solid under there, and it wasn't. But it was fight him or fight no one. It's coming up to Christmas, so that was my Christmas.
I was going to say, you said after the Thompson fight that you were determined to stay at that high level. Yeah. What happened tonight then?
Obviously, I couldn't get you can't get anyone with real ambition and any world-class opponents on a week's notice. They'd want obviously 6-7 weeks notice, and obviously the money that was available for the fight on a small show like this, you can't get anyone with any quality. But I want to get back in there with Carl Thompson actually before I get any more quality rounds under my belt, because I feel if I do get a couple of more world-class opponents and get the rounds under my belt, which everyone keeps talking about, I feel that I might have too much of an advantage going back into a Carl Thompson fight. So I want to go back in there inexperienced, so it's still a 50-50 fight.
So Carl Thompson next.
That's the fight I'm really pushing for. That's the fight I think the fans want to see. I think everyone who watched it, whether they will come to watch me or Thompson, all enjoyed that fight. So why not give it to them again? That's what I'm in the game to entertain.
I'm one of the best possible opponents. Carl Thompson is with Fight Academy also, so let's get it on.
Thanks for your time.